Episode 72, All the Everything Podcast. I'm Billy. That's Tim.
How
Tim,
y'all?
what's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Just a exciting time to be alive.
It
I say
is.
that just for every day, right? It's be
Right.
happy to enjoy each moment. What's really been nice is last time we talked and I was out of town and stuff, but we are back in town. We're actually here for a total of like 3 weeks, give or take a
It's
few
crazy.
days. So that's been really
hmm
nice, like settling in. Like Saturday, I spent like 3-4 hours cleaning out the entire garage and getting it reorganized because it was looking like such a hot mess.
Sure.
Uh, that felt amazing. Getting all our laundry caught up, that never
Oh,
happens.
living out
Never
of
end.
suitcase.
Yeah, no, it's just like switching suitcase like things,
hmm
throwing little loads in the laundry. My question to everybody listening, and especially to you, Billy,
Okay.
I don't know who does the laundry at your house.
We
Do
kind of do
you?
our own. I do mine. Michelle does hers, and usually the girls.
Okay.
Because they have some special things that I could mess up. Like I don't want to ruin their clothes. And so, yeah.
Right, right. So my question, and I can know this is true in my house, and I've heard this from other
Mhm.
people before, that literally, if I had every single thing clean on one day and folded, there is not a space for every single thing to be put away.
No.
Um, it's always kind of like you're always like robbing from Peter to pay Paul with hangers because like sometimes your
Yes.
stuff's in the laundry, so you have plenty of hangers, and then vice versa or whatever. And I got to the point where I realized I don't have anywhere to put all this stuff away. I'm so used to having like full laundry baskets sitting in the bathroom forever, or I just do a little bit here and there. What
hmm
about you? Like, do you actually have a place to put everything away if it was all cleaned and ready to go in that one moment?
Um, I have okay, so in our laundry room, there's a
Yeah,
like there's some hangers, like there's I don't know if it's not a shelf, it's like a bar to hang up clothes. And
yeah,
so that thing is completely full of my clothes. And then you go
okay,
into my closet and it's pretty full. Now I will say I just got rid of hundreds of shirts. Like
mm,
donated those because they were all too large, thankfully.
right,
And so I got rid of a ton of clothes, and I probably could still go through more and get rid of a lot more. But
yeah,
I actually went and bought like 5 sets of like hangers, like 20 each, just so I can
oh
have
yeah,
I'm tired of trying to fight for hangers and stuff. And going into Michelle's closet and going through all her clothes and robbing her from her hangers. So I stocked up, and I'm like, so now my closet, like the bottom shelf that I usually don't hang
yeah,
stuff. Worst case, if I had to do, I have like 2 shelves, but my shirts are so long they would hit the floor, so I don't do the bottoms. That's all
yeah.
just empty hangers now. So I'm like, I'm good. But
Okay,
then
you,
also, I cannot find. I have bought all these Columbia shirts that I love wearing. I'm in that
yeah.
Columbia phase,
Mhm.
and so I don't know what I did with those. I cannot find them anywhere, like any of them.
I
And I'm
hope
like,
Michelle's
what
not
the
listening
heck?
to this. She's not gonna like
What
you
the
spending
heck?
money and losing stuff.
I'm telling you, yeah. So
You're
that's
dead.
actually on my to-do list for today after the podcast is I'm going through all the dirty clothes. I'm going through all my suitcases. It might be in a suitcase somewhere. Um,
Yeah.
but I
I
was
mean,
like,
that's fair from people who travel a lot. We leave stuff sitting in suitcases.
oh my
Um,
gosh, I cannot find any of them. And so I was
yeah.
like, goodness gracious, because I was wanting to wear one out the other night, and I was like, dang it, can't find it. But
So wait a
that's
minute.
on my to-do list.
So answering the question, do you have enough
Mhm.
space for all of your clean clothes at one time or no?
Um, I probably do now that I got rid of everything,
Okay.
but I would have to put stuff on the floor, and not like on the floor, but like the
I understand, yeah.
yeah, it would like the bottoms of my shirts would be on the floor. Not that it's dirty or anything, because um, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, I keep my
Okay.
closet pretty clean because that's our storm shelter. And speaking of which, tonight we're supposed to. It's a James Spann Day for here in Alabama.
Oh, Mr.
If you're
Span,
here,
okay.
yeah, you know what that means. And so they canceled all like after school activities. We
Oh, no.
canceled. We had to cancel tutoring this afternoon. So because the weather's supposed to be really bad, and
Mhm.
so yeah, we might be going in the closet tonight if Mr. James Spann tells us to respect the polygon. Um,
Alright.
yeah. Ugh.
That's always scary for sure.
Yep. Yep. Not fun.
Well,
Not fun.
we pray everything's okay.
Thank
But
you. Thank
anyhow,
you.
I'm curious for people out there listening, is it feasible for you to have room to actually put everything away at once?
Right.
It's not in my house. It just doesn't
No.
exist.
Yeah.
And I just did something recently like you did. I got rid of a ton of shirts and T-shirts and all kinds of stuff because I just wasn't wearing them, and I'm
Mhm.
such a hoarder when it comes to T-shirts because I just can't get
Yes.
enough. If I'm not buying them, I'm here
You're
crafting
making
my
them.
basic. I'm making them on my
Mhm.
Cricut, which I slowed down a little bit because it was just like, oh, I have an
Is that too
idea. I
much?
can make that a shirt. Every like waking thought, that's a shirt, and Leslie would be like, no, that's no reason for that shirt. Tim, it's a one-off. You're like, happy Monday, March
Yeah.
2026. Why would anybody else wear that ever again? I
Yep.
would. Yeah. So
Yep.
we want to hear about your great laundry conundrum. Can you put it all
Oh,
away if it was all clean at once?
that's real
And
life.
it's a no. Yeah, this is real life conversations we need to
Real
have.
life. Mhm.
So anyhow, we're home for a couple weeks, just getting everything back into a groove. I've had my diet back into a groove, and
Nice. Me too.
no drinking for a week, which is big because I like to sip on
Yeah.
bourbon at night.
Mhm.
And I've lost since I got home last Tuesday. I've lost 12 pounds already.
Heck yeah,
So
man.
I've been working hard,
Congratulations.
watching diet, doing the things, staying consistent because I don't have to leave.
Mhm.
And just because you leave doesn't mean you have to eat like a slob, but somehow it just goes hand in hand with me. I enjoy the food at the places we go, but
Right?
anyway.
Golly, yeah.
What are you up to, Billy?
Man, I'm getting after it as well. Like, like on this weight loss journey, like I've always said, it's a journey. There's peaks and there's valleys, right? And
Right,
so I've
right.
been in like this dang valley, trying to get out of this valley, and then like I see myself slowly creeping up, and I'm like, ooh, nope, pump the brakes. And so, you know,
No.
yeah. And so I've been hitting it hard for the last couple of weeks as well, just trying to get back on track and make sure I prioritize like walking in the morning and stuff.
Right.
So, I did a 5K this morning, and
Good job.
thank you. I feel nasty though. I didn't have time to shower, but
I take a better
just
look at you.
looking
Yeah,
manly for you
look
here on
nasty.
YouTube. Yeah. So it's just, yeah. So I got my 5K in this morning and came right to the podcast right afterwards. But I feel accomplished. I feel good and
Yeah.
everything like that. And I'm happy to get out there because the next couple of days, I think we're going to be under severe weather. So it's going to be walking inside. And so to get some fresh air this morning was kind of nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you watching right now while you're walking inside?
Actually what I'm doing is I'm listening to the Harry Potter, the new Harry Potters on Audible.
Yeah.
They re-recorded it with voice actors. And so it's both them reading the actual book with the narrator, but then whenever the voices of the talking to the characters, they have actual voice and they read it every single book like that. And I'm still on the Sorcerer's Stone. And so, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm almost done with the first book, but they have like Dr. House, Hugh Laurie. He is Dumbledore.
That's cool.
The kid that's actually playing Ron in the new HBO series that's coming out.
Yeah,
that they have casted. He's actually the voice of Ron in this series. And
that's
some
fun.
some really famous people are voicing the characters, and it's really entertaining. And I've been really enjoying it, just kind of diving into the books and stuff like that, and just reliving it. Because I love me some Harry Potter. I'm not gonna lie.
Same. Yeah, that's awesome. I read them all, and I listened to a couple of them. The one I listened to that got me like in the creepiest mode was the Goblet of Fire.
Oh yeah,
where Voldemort comes back and he kills poor Cedric. The voice acting in that one, Edward or whoever.
Batman. I'm Batman.
And he's Batman. He's a lot of things.
He is a lot of things.
But I don't even know what I was saying. But I've listened to some of them. That one in particular was really good. Audio version of it. So I guess it's time to roll, my friend.
Let's do this thing.
Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything, we've got it all. We've got it all, small, big or tall. snacks, sit back, don't stress, cause Tim and Billy talk about the randomness. From ancient Rome to UFOs, we'll take you where the weirdness goes. It's two guys talking way too loud about stuff that makes no sense, but we're kinda proud. Welcome to the madness.
Well, welcome back to yet another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by my BFF, the guy who likes to get down with little Harry Potter. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Parchment. How you doing, Billy?
I'm good. Yeah, I enjoy listening and reading Harry Potter. I don't know if I technically get down with Harry Potter, though.
I was going to say he likes playing with his own wand, but I didn't say that.
But now you did.
Oh yeah, you're right. So that kind of ruined. I should have just said it. None of them. Anyhow,
Wow.
that's a new one.
That'll be fun on the recap.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on my worksheet.
Your worksheet.
Okay.
Yeah, running behind.
I know. Get busy, Tim. Get busy.
That's right.
All right. So, Billy, we're excited about this episode. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, but our listeners, they need to know, what are we getting into today? What are we talking about?
Well, yeah, as kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? Today is going to be one of those topics. And you kind of think about it like yesterday and today, right? Today, we're
Right.
talking about things that were normal in the 80s and 90s that would just be insane today. Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
That's right. A little
I thought
90s
that we only
throwback for you.
We already did that pre-recording, but we had to do it again. So
That's
you're
right.
welcome.
So good. Yeah, that's what we're going to be diving in, like the things that, hey, just normal back then. If you were to do it today, would it end up on CNN? I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, I would say TMZ, but we're not that famous, so
No.
oh well.
No.
So let's get into the whole thing. We got a lot of different topics we're going to bring up, different scenarios, and we're going to talk through them. And I want you guys to think through them as you're listening and how you would do and what you remember from these times. So,
Yeah.
thinking about how we basically currently, we have location tracking, cell phones, group chats. Basically, in the 80s and 90s, it was go outside and I'll see you tonight, right?
Yeah.
So, the first thing we're going to talk about is being kids roaming the neighborhood all day, right? All day, son, we'd be out there. I mean, it was normal back then to leave the house in the morning and not come back till dinner time or later. And with them having no idea where you were or what you were doing, we used to ride bikes all over town. Parents were clueless and things like that. So let's just get into it, Billy. What was it like for you growing up? Were you like out the door and then gone all day, just getting into it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We were on our bikes. And I mean, okay, so in my neighborhood, I had my two best friends. Our houses were like a triangle. Like basically, you would have to go to every house to go around the block completely. So mine was on the corner, and you go straight down to get to Chris's house. And then if you go straight, you get to Ryan's. And so it was a big, huge triangle, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we were all over. I grew up on a bayou, Bayou. In Goshen, Mississippi, same bayou that Channing Tatum grew up on as well. So he is a
Bayou buddies.
Yep, he's a friend of the show.
That's right. He doesn't know it, but he is.
But he is. So it's same elementary school as Channing, and so yeah, we were always either in the woods, up on the bayou, riding our bikes down the neighborhood, wherever. And then at my dad's house, riding bikes all over Biloxi. It was nothing to ride our bike 2 miles to go down to Edgewater Mall and riding down the highway. I remember we were on the sidewalk riding our bikes, but my stepbrother at the time, he kind of went out into the street a little bit and he caused the car to wreck.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then we were terrified, so we ran and hid behind a building. It was a little fender bender. Nobody was hurt. Nothing like that. It was a little fender bender. But yeah, it was, he didn't run out in front of them. He just kind of went off the sidewalk a little bit onto the actual road, and they were looking at him and not in front of them.
Oh
But we were
no.
still terrified. But things like that happened like in the 90s all the time,
Yeah.
because we were out and about, and like I could not imagine my girls going out. Like even yesterday, the girls wanted to go outside, and so they wanted to go out and like, hey, can we go out in the front yard? And then Michelle looked at me like, is that okay? And I was like, our neighborhood is super safe, but it's not like, I
Right.
have a 10-year-old, when I was 10, I was all over the place, but we just like,
Oh yeah.
it still was kind of like in the back of your mind, is it okay for her to go in our front yard by herself? And
Which
so,
is
yeah,
crazy.
yes.
It's crazy to be like, is it
Mhm.
okay if they go in our front yard? But that's just nuts that we have to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, without
So
us sitting out there. Yeah.
no, it's the same thing. When my kids were growing up, I just never turned them loose to go riding bikes all day by themselves.
Mhm.
They'd be hanging out in the front. It'll always be one of us out there watching them because people always want to come over and play with me. Is what would happen with the kids. 'Cause
Right.
I used to make up
Mhm.
all the games. We've talked about this before, but I would always be out there, or we'd be in the backyard. But we would never just turn them loose and be gone for hours on end on a bike somewhere. I mean, like Billy
Right.
said, I'd ride my bike somewhere 5 to 7 miles sometimes, just down on a whim, going down this road to see what was down there, and
Yes.
and then getting somewhere, and then getting into whatever that we got into that day. But our parents, it was never like when we got home, wasn't like, oh my God, where have you been? What have
Yeah.
you been doing? It was just like, hey, it's time to eat. And that was about it. There really wasn't any
Yeah.
talk about, where have you been at all day long,
Right.
roaming the neighborhood with your friends on bikes. It's crazy to think that now, how none of us, I can't say none of us, so many people are maybe less paranoid, will let our kids go do that. And especially at the
Mhm.
ages that we did it at, Billy. Like
Mhm.
nobody knew. When
Yeah.
we used to play in these woods, and we would shoot each other with BB guns. Like
Yeah,
shoot at each
absolutely.
other. Like
We would have firework wars, and we would shoot bottle rockets at each other. I got hit in the face with a bottle rocket. I had a big old like whelp right here right by my mouth. You know how close that was to my eye? Oh my
jeez.
gosh.
But we don't think
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. We were like building bike
No.
ramps to ramp our bikes. I mean,
So many bike ramps. Yes.
bike ramps for days, yeah. And
Mhm.
it was just crazy. So that is definitely something. I mean, even if you weren't on your bike, like the simple fact was be home when the streetlights come on. You've always heard that
Right.
thing. And here's the other thing we didn't discuss. And if something happened, you didn't have a phone. You have to go knock on a random person's house and be like, "Can you call my mom?" Or "Can I
That was
call my
normal.
mom?" That was normal,
Yeah.
right?
That was
So not
normal.
only you're out
Yeah.
riding your bike alone, you're also going to strangers' houses and be like, "Can I come in
Knocking
and
on
use
it.
your phone?" And they're
I'm
like,
so sorry.
"Yes, come on
Yeah.
in." And you're like,
Yeah.
you like,
No, that was just normal because yeah. I remember in the 90s, I had asked for a beeper for Christmas,
oh yeah,
and
big deal.
that was I thought that was cool and stuff. I had my own little voicemail set up on it, and it was it was a new day. And then I realized, oh snap, this is a way for my mom to get in touch with me, and she kept paging me and telling me to come home. And then I accidentally left it on the back of my dad's truck when he was
Oop.
accidentally leaving for work, and then it accidentally got ran over. Quotation marks the whole time for those who are just listening. And then they
Yeah.
asked, "Do you want us to go get you a new one?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good."
I'm grateful for what I had,
Yeah,
but somebody
yeah,
else's turn.
yeah. Give me. Obviously, I'm not responsible enough to have a pager. I need to learn a lesson here.
Yeah, I need to learn a lesson. Thank you, mom and dad, for this opportunity.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
you will never track me again. Fast
I'm
forward to
free.
Life 360, yeah, and
That's
everything else.
right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right, let's go on to another one. So another big deal was calling someone else's house and having to talk to their parents. So you remember you would call. It's not like now, right? Where you call and
Mhm.
whoever you're calling picks up, right? It's not something random. You'd get the
Yep.
random mom or dad. Most of the dads were like,
Mhm.
"What do you want?" You're like, it was like, "What do you need?" I just
Yep.
want to talk to so and so. Or the moms would just chat you up one way or the other. But
Mhm.
it was a skill we learned, right? It was talking to other parents, to other adults,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was just part of life, right? with that, I remember that vividly, especially if we're thinking about calling boyfriends, girlfriends, stuff like that, having to call and talk to their parents, not just like your best friend down the street,
Sure.
and the awkwardness that goes in with that as well.
Mhm.
Um, let's see, Billy, give me a couple stories and some insight on that, and I'll talk about it after you about how it's different with our kids now.
Oh, yeah, like, well, starting off, like, when we were kids, right? Back when you can actually call somebody properly because
Oh
there was
yeah,
no caller ID.
none.
And just the good days of, like of just being able to call somebody and just, like, legit, like, prank call them. Couldn't
Yeah,
do that nowadays because you got caller ID. I mean, you could block it or whatever, but it's still different.
yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, and so I remember one time, we're doing all these prank calls over at my friend's house, Ryan, that I was mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
and there was this random kid that wasn't part of our normal crew, but he called like a 1-900 number. Now the
Oh no.
1-900 numbers are the ones that charge money, and so he called the WCW hotline is what he called,
Oh
the
no.
wrestling hotline, and so their phone bill got charged. Now when we got caught doing that, which I wasn't doing, but I was part
Yeah.
of the prank call portion of that, I
Right.
got
Yeah.
scared and I took off on my bike. I just left and went home. And um, Ryan's mom called my mom that night and told her, and so I
Oh,
got in trouble afterwards, and then had to pay a couple bucks towards their phone bill, even though I wasn't the one who called the WCW hotline that cost money.
but you
But
learned.
I learned. Yep. And so that was one story. And then, yeah, kind of going back, like when you get a little bit older and you start calling the ladies and stuff like that, and their dad would answer the phone. And you do have to have that, awkward conversation sometimes. It'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
is Andrea there or is Chastity there? I'd like to talk to them, please. And then,
Please. Oh, I bet
yeah.
you would. Let me
And
tell
then,
you.
and then you had to be careful too, because if you were ever on a landline, you could have multiple. It was really easy to pick up that other phone and just cover over the mouthpiece and eavesdrop.
Eavesdropping.
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and so that was a big thing in the
'Cause
landline era.
you'd hear your mom be like, "Time to hang up the phone now," and you're like, "Son of a mom, get off the phone. What are you doing on the phone?"
Yeah,
You don't know
and
how that
it's
peeper was in there listening and creeping on your conversation.
and it's so crazy nowadays. Like when my girls talk on the phone, they don't know how to talk on the phone because they're so used to FaceTime and
Yes.
holding the phone in front of them. But like if you get an actual phone call on the cell phone, I'm like, baby, you got to put it up to your ear. You can't just hold it in front of your face and talk to them. You have to hold it so you can hear what they're saying. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a real struggle. Like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my god, did I fail as a parent?
No, not yet, but you give it time.
Oh my gosh.
No, but for our kids growing up, it was so weird for them to have to call, even them calling their own friends. They
Hmm.
wouldn't do. We're like, you know, let's say they're probably older, like they're maybe in freshman in high school, whatever. Hey, we're doing that party here for you. Like we're getting everything together, blah blah blah. Then they're texting their friend, no one's answering. It's kind of thing we needed to know quicker. I was like,
Hmm.
just call them. They're like, Dad, no one ever calls anybody. It's so weird.
Right.
What would you? I'm like, how hard is it to pick up the phone and literally, it's your friend. You're not calling some random stranger.
Right.
But you could text all day with them, FaceTime, like you said. That was a good point
Hmm.
I wasn't thinking of. And then they couldn't handle it. They could not
Hmm.
handle making phone calls. I would say still to this day, they're 25 and 22. They still don't like making phone calls,
Right.
unless they really have to for some reason. So
Hmm.
it just
Yeah.
it's weird. And they're like, yeah, my friends think it's weird if I try to call them. Like, why are you calling for? Why don't you just text me?
Right.
They don't have that social skill of talking to somebody on the phone. This and a lot of it's because we don't model that anymore, right? We're not really
Right.
sitting around like on the phone all the time like you would normally. You usually have an
Hmm.
earpiece in, so you're just free talking, or
Sure.
maybe you're texting or voice calling or whatever. But it's just a weird thing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
One of the things we had punched up underneath of this, did you ever call a girl and panic when the dad answered and hung up? Were you ever a hang up person?
Oh no, no, because it was worth the awkwardness.
I mean, like, give yourself a second try, but like, oh, my bad,
Oh,
and then
let me
call
see
back,
if
like,
she
because
answers the second time. Oh, sorry.
you're like, but you can be prepared for the dad though, like, okay, now I have
Yeah.
maybe dad's gonna do it. So, Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just really crazy things that they're so different now. And again, I'm just blown away that people don't like. I don't want to call anybody. Like for me, I'd much rather call someone than text back
Mhm.
and forth all day. Just because I'm a crappy texter, I'm not fast. You ever get in those group chats with people where they're like, boom, 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 boom. It's like 50 messages. I'm still like,
Like, dang.
they're, dang it, to type it. They're, no, is it there or they
And
are?
then every time somebody else texted, it takes it down to the bottom and screws you up where you were. Yep.
Yes, completely. I suck
Mhm.
at that. So I try to do the voice talk to text. That kind of makes it a little faster for me, but then you end up saying something egregious on accident that didn't come out right, and that's
Yeah.
always my downfall.
Kinda
So
like today. Yeah, today, I'm selling my GoPro on Facebook, and so I had a Facebook Marketplace conversation. This person's like, "Do you wanna trade for some meat glasses?" And I was like, "Meat glasses?" I was like, "Do you mean Meta glasses?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's crazy." Yeah. No, I don't want no Meta glass. I want some meat glasses now. That's what I really
no,
want.
tell me more about the meat glasses.
Yeah, what are these meat glasses? That's what I
That's
really
hilarious.
want.
um, okay, this next one's a huge thing. It's not about meat glasses.
Okay, dang.
Smoking sections in restaurants
Oh
and
my,
on airplanes.
yes. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
so this feels insane now, right? Because
Mhm.
there's I don't know any restaurant where you can go to where you can smoke, unless it's like at
Mm-mm.
a big bar somewhere or
Praise the
whatever.
Lord.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, thank God when they got rid of that smoking
Yes.
thing. But so you think about it now, but then you have to flash back to it's Friday night dinner. You walk in, check in with the
Mhm.
host or hostess and say,
Mhm.
I'd like to be seated. Would you like the smoking or non-smoking section? Well, I would like
Mhm.
non-smoking, please. Then you sit down, and all there is some weird random curtain above you splitting the thing, and you
Mhm.
smell the smoke the entire time. You're inundated with it. I
Yes.
think that was some kind of mental hoax they used to do to make people think they were getting some kind of separation.
Yeah.
Um, but it was the same room, everything's floating from place to place, and then on
Mhm.
airplanes, they used to do the same thing. You want the smoking section or non-smoking? I mean, I have more of some deniability that it's gonna happen at a restaurant, but nothing I'm thinking that's really gonna be separated on an airplane where it's just one tube and that smoke is just circulating.
Mhm.
Could you imagine now, Billy, sitting
I
on the
couldn't
airplane and everybody's smoking cigarettes around you the whole time?
Yeah, thankfully, I never flew during that time. That was
Yeah,
never an option for the smoking
me either.
section. Um, that was already done before I actually flew. I think the first flight I ever did was back in, like, 2001. That was the first time
Okay,
I ever flew. And so but smoking sections in the restaurants. Now, my mom smoked growing up.
okay.
I absolutely hated cigarette smoke, like with a fury.
Yeah,
I could not stand it. But going to the restaurant, they would say smoking or non-smoking, and I tell you what, the worst one was the
yeah.
Waffle House
Oh, for
because they're
crying
so
out loud.
small. As Yes, they're so
Yeah,
small anyway. The whole thing and you left smelling like a cigarette. So even though I absolutely loved the Waffle House, a lot of times I wouldn't go because I didn't want to smell like a cigarette.
yeah,
And so that was when they passed that law where you couldn't smoke in the restaurants. I was beyond thankful. And now I've been trying to we're going to Paris in November.
mhm.
Everybody smokes everywhere in Paris. It's
They
a
do.
different culture. You just have to, I'm preparing the girls because they've never been around it before, and so trying to, people are going to be smoking. It's kind of like, it is what it
Gotta
is.
happen.
It is what it is. And so, but oh my gosh, yeah, Waffle House was absolute worst. It made no sense. The whole thing's a smoking. It's just one big cigarette thing back then. But
There there was a couple other restaurants that came up in honorable mentions when I was looking this up about these. Pizza Hut was a classic one for the
oh yeah,
smoking and non-smoking section.
hmm
Denny's, you remember good old Denny's?
sure, Denny's. Yep,
Yeah, that was a lot of smoke going on. They did list the Waffle House, of course, of being one of the
yep.
smokiest, and they also
hmm
listed Steak and Shake. as being a
Ooh.
very smoky one. I don't know because I didn't really go there growing up.
Uh-huh.
I've gone there as an adult, and there's no smoking now, but
Yeah.
um, these were
Yeah,
like some of the classic offenders.
Steak and Shake, we never had one in our local area, so I didn't do that until later in life. So, I don't know
Okay.
about that. But yeah, but the IHOP, like those old just breakfast places like IHOP and Denny's, like you said, those would have been bad. And then just kind of thinking about like, Disney taking out the smoking sections inside the park. You have to go outside the park to smoke now,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Which is, I'm sure that's hard for smokers or whatever, but I'm thankful.
The world we live in now, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm thankful as well because I cannot
Mhm.
stand the smell of cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you out there and you're a listener and you smoke, that's fine. We don't.
Hey, we still love you. We absolutely adore you, but
we may not stand next to you while you're smoking.
exactly. Give it a few minutes and then we'll hang out afterwards.
Well, now it's less the smoking and more of the vaping, right? So
vaping's even more dangerous than smoking with the chemicals
I know
and stuff. And so
it's just crazy. So you don't smell it as much,
right.
I mean, trust me, you still smell the person lighting up everywhere you go,
Mhm.
but now so much is the vaping, which
Mhm.
a lot of people do. So
Yeah.
any more on the non-smoking smoking section?
The only thing I wanted to mention, there's this viral video, and this dude was on the airplane, and he's just sitting there, and he's like out of it. I don't know if he's just drunk or just too tired, and he takes out a cigarette and he lights it up, and he just starts smoking, just sitting there normal. And the dude like beside him's recording, like, and then the other guy's like, he pushes the flight attendant. She comes over and she's like, "Yes, sir," and he just points at him, and they're like, "Dude got arrested."
Oh, really? You should.
Yeah, and he just like he realized, oh crap, what did I do? He didn't even realize he was smoking on the plane.
That's crazy. It's like that muscle memory, right?
Yeah, it's like a muscle. Exactly. He just didn't even realize it. He's just sitting there smoking on the plane. Like, what in the world? Yeah.
That was good because I feel that one because my dad absolutely hated smoking.
Mm-hmm.
He also grew up with parents who smoked. He
Sure.
he told me he used to sit next to my mom on his mom on the couch with a pillow over his face, was watching TV, and she used to be like, "You look like a fool, Tom. Like nobody that cares about cigarettes. It's no big deal." And it wasn't talked about by then, but
Mm-hmm.
he protected himself, didn't even know it, but he couldn't handle it.
Mm.
So anyhow, yeah, but nobody wants to smell like it. So
No.
it's almost kind of like, well, I'm not gonna get into that one. That'll be a different topic for a different episode.
Sure.
Trying to edit myself in the moment.
There you go. Good job.
Thank you. I've been better at that, even in real life, like real life situations. I'm like, no, just don't say it. Like I'll laugh to myself. I'm like, that's really inappropriate. But gosh, that's funny. That is really funny.
Right. Right.
Thank God we have our wives to check us too. I'm like, this is pretty funny.
Well,
like, you dare say that?
Yep.
Don't you dare! But it is funny though. Yeah, it is funny, right? Like they have to give us some acknowledgement. But I am funny, right? You think I think I'm funny? But yeah. Anyhow, that's totally off track. Let's go with this one. We talked about a little bit about this one in the mall episode, but this kind of goes for everything.
Okay.
Meeting friends somewhere with no way to update them, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we talked about the whole mall thing. It was like, meet me at the fountain in front of the Gap store at whatever time. But like with that being said, like meet me anywhere, meet me at the park and we'll get together and see the hoops, or we'll do this or do that. If some reason you were running late, you had no way to tell them. If they were running late or couldn't come anymore, they had no way to tell you. They might call your mom, but that's not going to help you out at wherever you're at.
Sure.
As opposed to the constant texting and tracking and updating your location all the time.
Dropping a pin. Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah. Even if you think you're not being tracked, you're being tracked. Always.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Even if you don't have one of those apps. So the insaneness now today of me telling you, hey, Billy, meet me at Disney World. I'm going to fly down this day, fly down. nobody has any idea if the other person made it because we're not together. We're
Exactly.
just meeting at this place. So there was such a level of trust that you had to have in the people you were meeting
Yeah,
because if they were unreliable or didn't show up, then you were kind of screwed.
exactly.
Billy, what do you think about that? How crazy it is today and what it was like before you did that with your friends?
Exactly. Yeah. Having to, yeah, like you said, just have to trust your friends just to show up. If you made plans and didn't go together. Now, the big thing was like, your mom would drop you off at the mall. But when it was
Right.
time, you were ready to go. And if you didn't have a quarter for the payphone, those ancient relics that where you put a quarter in and then you could call somebody.
Yeah.
What I used to do is I would call my mom collect and then be like, you have a message from, I'm ready to go. And then do you accept? And she'd be like, no. And then she would know just to come get me.
Yeah. Come pick me up,
I
Mom.
did that. I did. Yeah. Come pick me up. It's a baby. It's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was
old
thinking about
commercial.
that one.
Yeah. It's a baby. It's a boy. It's like the old commercial. Google it. It's funny. But
It's
yeah,
funny.
that
The
was
dad
real.
just
That
acts
was
like
real.
nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was that, dear? Oh, that was John. He had a baby. It's a boy.
Boy. He's reading his paper or whatever it was.
Yep.
Anyhow.
Yeah. But yeah, that was real life in the 90s. Real life in the 90s. And so yeah, that was goodness gracious.
Even more so in the 80s. We were still so far behind on
Right.
technology, and it's insane. And it's so dear listeners, picture yourself now. Could you really let go of that control of knowing where people are, or like calling them, texting them, hey, meet me here, or send out a picture? Like I don't know if I could go back to that. Right?
I tell you what, like it's a blessing and it's also a curse. Like I just like
Yeah,
I
oh, for
remember
sure.
there's mornings I wake up thinking, especially being in like the service industry, like with people traveling and things like that, if they need me,
Yeah.
like me waking up almost not really in a panic, but like, did anybody message me like while I was asleep? Right.
Right.
Like, do I, is there anything like that? You just kind of wake up and I have to look up at my phone just to make sure, because otherwise I'm going to be thinking about it and everything like that. And so just kind of going through that
3
whole
hours later, you're still on TikTok. You're like, I was just
Yep,
checking my
exactly.
messages.
Like, dang it, that was my time to sleep, and now I have to actually get up. That's real life right there. So it'd be kind of nice to kind of go back.
There is a freedom of that. We grew up in an era kind of like our parents before us who didn't have technology, and they're now they're dealing with the tech of these phones in these 8 days, and we're using them faster than our parents and all things like that, and now our kids are surpassing us with their quickness on technology. It's just crazy. But having that period of going there, and we didn't know any better, right? It wasn't like, oh, I wish there was an option right now where I could call somebody and blah 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 and ask them for this, or it just never dawned on us. And so there was a freedom because we grew up in that era, and now we're in this area where you're tracked all the time. And I
You're
don't mean
always
tracked by
connected.
somebody. I just mean
Yeah,
like
you're just connected.
people can find where you're connected with everything and everyone. People can get in touch with you, and emails, phone calls, texts, and stuff like that. So I would go back for the freedom, but I don't think I could go back with the technology now that we have
No, that you're used to it. Yeah.
tracking your family, kids, whatever.
So. Oh yeah, 100%. Now I'm super thankful for Life 360. Yeah, and so that is what it is. That's an app that I am happy to have.
Yeah, we didn't have that for a long time before we got it, and I'd seen someone talk about it. I was like, we should get that. And after that, it was game on. Like before, Leslie would always try to track like their iPhone location of where they were, because we always said if they had a phone, the phone first of all belonged to us. Secondly, we were able to track you wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny when we have Live 360. When Luke, let's see, he had it on most of the time in college. Sometimes he would take it off. And then when he moved to New York for the Yankees thing, there was a while where he just wasn't on it at all. And it was weird. We're like, oh, we don't know where he's at, especially him living in a different town. And then when he moved back, he still was off of it. But now he's back in. And now we all track each other as a family. So
good. Well, I remember when you were on your birthday and you got in the wreck, right?
Oh yeah.
It was you, Leslie, and Luke in the car. and
Yeah.
Lauren was not with y'all, and she got alerted by Life 360 that you were in a wreck and
Mhm.
immediately called you, right? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
right?
She did. She's like, "It says all 3 of you were in an accident." Like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
what's happening?" So yeah, that was scary with that, but without that technology of knowing,
Yeah.
you know what really screwed me that day? Besides 10,000 things that screwed me up for the next year and a half?
Yeah.
Besides all that, is we had OnStar, and OnStar is supposed to be like, as soon as you have an accident,
Right.
they're like, "Hey, looks like you were in a car accident. Let me send somebody right away, like 911 or whatever."
Right. That's their big
It didn't
thing.
it didn't even come on. Didn't even
That's
come on.
crazy. That's
Oh, I was so
crazy.
mad. I canceled it that night or the next
Yeah.
day.
Oh,
We called. We're like, "You guys didn't even do it." "Well, that doesn't make sense. We should have." I'm like, "Yeah, you should have, but you
you
didn't." So,
should have. That's the whole point.
yeah, so I haven't had that OnStar thing for a while. I showed
Wow.
them. Now no one
Yeah.
knows where I'm at. But no, Life 360 helps with that. It's just the tracking and the I guess I don't want to say tracking in a bad way, like you're stalking somebody, right? It's just
Sure.
knowing their whereabouts, what's going on, how
Mhm.
long have they been at
Mhm.
this location, how long have they
Mhm.
been driving, how fast are they driving,
Sure. That's
all the
huge when you have teenagers, because I remember driving 100 miles down a bridge one time, and I was thinking to myself, if my daughters ever did that, they wouldn't be driving.
oh yeah.
You see that in hindsight.
Yeah, first of all, I would know, and second of all, that'd be the last time they ever drove.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Oh, good times. Um, let's talk about this one. I'm skipping ahead to another one.
Go for it.
Um, let's talk about what things are now and what things were like growing up in the 80s and 90s. That playground equipment was pretty much basically dangerous at all times, right? It's
Oh
one of the
my
things is
goodness.
that the 80s were borderline gladiator arenas at the playground. So let's think of like one that everybody knows. It's the metal
Mhm.
slides in the
The
summer.
metal, holy rusted metal
Third
Batman.
degree burns on your legs for going
So
down
flippin'
these
hot.
slides. It was madness. Um, I'm gonna have you speak on this too here in a second. There was
Mhm.
also 12-foot jungle gyms. There wasn't the
Oh,
ones
yeah.
now that they swing and their feet kind of just barely hit the ground or no, you were up super high in these jungle gyms going from rung to
Mhm.
rung, and thank God if you were strong enough to pull it off, you didn't fall. Because below
Mhm.
you, was it soft little pieces of tire and rubber? No, just concrete. So you were pretty much
Yes.
a dead person, a lot of broken bones at the playground.
Tons of
Uh
broken bones. Yes.
And safety standards were just optional back in the day.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they weren't really rolled out. So, Billy, let's talk about going back. Could we do it again? And what it was like then for you, and what it's like now with kids growing up in playgrounds.
Yeah, I remember, like, doing, like, the monkey bars or whatever,
Yeah.
and those are still dangerous, but yeah, like you said, they were super high back then, and we would be just doing flips, we'd be hanging upside down from the back of
Yeah.
our knees
Oh,
without
always.
without question, with concrete right under us. Now, I did have an issue with Lily on the monkey bars one time. It was horrible.
I think you talked about this recently.
I might have, yeah. She, she was on the monkey bars, and I was right by her, and her sister was on the same playground, but she climbed on a roof of something, like something she wasn't supposed to be. Wasn't part of the actual, like she was. And
Yeah.
so I turned my head to say, "Hey, get down!" And in that split second, Lily falls flat on her back, and I
Oh,
mean, it's
man.
not even. It's like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Not like us where it was like 10 feet up in the air or whatever back in the day. Like, and she does knock the wind out of her, and she's like freaking out. And I'm like, oh gosh. And so I'm like taking care of her. I'm thinking I'm doing a phenomenal job taking care of her, trying to calm her down. I was like, your breath is going to come back. Don't be
Yeah.
scared. And so I made the mistake of asking her later. I was like, what could daddy have done better? Because I was like, oh, I did so good, like trying to like calm her down. And she's like, you could have caught me. And I was like, oh, touche. That little girl's quick. She's witty too.
Boy, is
And
she ever.
oh my gosh. And so, yeah,
And
but yeah,
tell me, what did she fall on? Was it hard concrete?
no, it was mulch. It was soft mulch.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
not in our day. That would have been a hospital visit in our day.
Oh, for sure. You
100%.
you broke something or had another concussion as a child. Let's talk about
100%.
concussions. How many concussions did
Yes.
we have as kids that we just didn't even know?
Well, I knowing the symptoms now, there was been 2
Yeah.
times that I had a concussion. Like, I remember being super tired, nauseous, couldn't see straight,
Yeah.
like, from my childhood. Knowing
Yeah.
that's a concussion now and not going to the doctor or anything like that. Um, yeah, I know 2 of them. And so, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And speaking of playground equipment, Michelle broke her thumb on playground equipment. But now her dad he taught people how to read x-rays. And so he took her up and just x-rayed it himself. And,
Oh, okay.
she had to have surgery and she has metal pins and she still has to like pop her thumb in place, not in place. That sounds really gross. It just kind of it gets like stuck sometimes, like where she has to kind of like move it and it pops and stuff. And, but she's still dealing with that to this day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, luckily playgrounds have changed over the years. I think going back, I think it's for the better these days.
Yeah.
Everything's safer.
Mhm.
And plastic slides. Sometimes those even get hot, but
They do
not
get hot, yes, but not
but not
like metal
those
surface of the sun.
yeah, burning your flesh as you went down
Get
the
second-degree burns.
yeah, for real.
Goodness
So I
gracious.
think instead of what things would be insane today, I'm glad. Like we were also saying, could you go back and do it again? We could. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't
Mhm.
choose to it, but I would definitely say playgrounds today went out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about phones before, but I want to talk about this. And you grew up with siblings and stuff. I grew up with 7 kids in my house. So this was a big
Yeah.
deal for us. Having one phone for the entire house.
Oh, I could not
What?
imagine, dude. I
One
could not
phone
imagine.
for the entire house. I mean,
Mhm.
picture that today. It would
Yeah.
be impossible.
Yeah.
But what happened was back in the day is first of all, it was usually in the kitchen. That's where
Mhm.
most phones were. And
Mhm.
if you were lucky and you were pimping it out right, there was always
Yeah,
like a
cordless.
20-foot cord. No, I'm talking
Or
before
yeah,
cordless.
before cordless. Oh my
Or
goodness,
you had
yeah.
to use that the big 20-foot cord that would stretch under people's doors into their rooms because that was always a
Yes.
battle in our house at least. Like, "Get off the phone.
Mhm.
I need the phone." And you would just know where the phone was because of the cord that was tracking all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, Everyone could hear your conversations. It was,
Yep.
like, no secret back in the day, and it
Yep.
was always your parents yelling, "Get off the phone!" Um,
Yep.
we
Or
talked
they
about
pick
it
up the
earlier.
phone and they pick up the other phone and be like, "I need the phone. I need you to get off," and just embarrass you, like you're
Yeah.
talking to this girl you like or whatever. Mom, gosh, mom,
You suck.
jeez. And then you're grounded.
And then you're grounded. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what do you think now? Could we survive going back to one phone? I don't think so.
No, it was rough enough in high school when the internet was introduced and that took up your phone line. Like
Mhm.
I remember, like if my mom was on the internet and I'm like, you couldn't talk on the phone, you couldn't call your friends, couldn't do anything because she was on the phone. Or my grandpa absolutely loved Napster. He would sit there and download songs all day long and just watch the bar, not doing
Yeah.
anything else. And he would listen to all the music that he loved. He absolutely, there's no telling how many viruses were on our computer from all the songs that were downloaded. But that tied up the phone line. And thankfully there was that option that came out where it will tell you somebody's calling and give you the option to answer the phone and disconnect the thing. And so you would know somebody's trying to reach you. But
That was high tech back then.
yeah, but I could not imagine having 6 brothers and sisters and I only had one sister and it was rough enough,
I'm telling
with
you,
us.
it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It was not good. So,
Goodness gracious.
talking about phones coming up, just you kind of brought that up. Is talking about
Mhm.
dial-up internet that we had back in the
Oh
day.
yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, everybody remembers the noise, right? The beep, you know. Oh, some guy just burped randomly. Like, what is it?
What is going on?
Everyone remembers that. It's the one that checks all the boxes there. Then what it did was it took a long to connect. to even get on the internet.
Yep.
That was one deal. Someone picking up the phone in your house would totally just knock
Just
you off the internet.
yes.
Totally just screw you up, even if it was accident or on purpose.
Yep. On
And
purpose.
then,
Yep.
and that's when the AOL chat rooms were like the Wild West back in the day, if you could get on. So
Yep.
again, these are things we talk about that are insane to think about today. About you had to dial up with your phone line, and then you had to hope to God no one picked up the phone, and you had to hope to God no one was trying to call you on the other line. And it's all these factors now that you think of like, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. So Billy, give me your thoughts on the dial-up internet. I know you talked about it a minute ago. And do you think we could survive that ever again?
Oh, I would not want to. I mean, you could do anything you had to do, but I wouldn't want to. Yeah, that was.
Could you do it again now, knowing what you have currently?
No, if once you know it, you didn't know better. That was what you had. It was a brand new world. It was this whole new access that nobody ever even had before. So it was exciting and stuff you kind of had to learn. But now, kind of, technology advances every single day, especially with AI.
Oh yeah,
I mean, just in the last year, the advances of AI, and it's going to just keep growing and be ridiculous. And we're going to have Terminator T2 Judgment Day, because that's what like you didn't watch any of these movies. That's all it was about. But technology,
right.
But yeah, knowing now and going back then would be incredibly rough.
Oh,
incredibly rough.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yep.
Let's move on to, this is along the lines of almost like trying to meet somebody without knowing where they were, is back in the day when we had handwritten directions or we had printed ones from MapQuest.
Oh my
this
gosh.
is all before GPS on your phone. Like now you can just like, give me driving directions to blah, blah, blah. And it pulls up on Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever you use.
Yes.
But back in the day, the MapQuest, man, you print directions or you wrote them down, hope you didn't miss a turn, because even on those amazing MapQuest things, which was like a big deal back in the day, especially if you were doing a long road trip, you had to print off like stacks of paper and make sure they stayed in order. And it'd be like,
you had to pay attention. Yes.
Oh, you had to pay crazy attention, or the person next to you was supposed to. And then like, I didn't see it. Like, how did you not see it? It's your only job. He's like, take a left on Oyster Lane. There is no Oyster Lane. They
miss a step, you're screwed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you miss one step, everything else, the domino effect happens. You're just totally screwed completely.
No, redirecting, reprocessing. There's none of that.
No, there was nobody redirecting, except you would just have a major fight in the front seat with somebody about like, why did we get lost? I don't know where we are.
We just drove 30 miles out of the way. Gosh,
I didn't even know. God bless us. But going through all of that, and what happened if you got lost, you had to pull over, kind of retrace your steps on the MapQuest and go back to the step before. Maybe there was always the good old ask a stranger for some help, which you never knew if they knew their way around. You'd be screwed. Or just the classic wandering. You would just wander around and hope to God to reconnect on that street. Like, it's got to be here somewhere. And that's when you get down that 30 minutes in the wrong way situation.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. We say all this with saying that we know there wasn't any knowledge of anything else back then. It's just the way it was.
Yeah.
But it didn't make it easy either, though. It was still crazy. We have parents be on a road trip and they pull up the map like they're Lewis and Clark trekking through whatever.
Yes.
Like, always connect 65 if you come down here and cross over this river. Now I look at a map. I'm like, I don't GPS, give me driving directions to a place that sells maps. No, I wouldn't do that. But it's just nuts to think how our parents learned. And so they were really good navigators. They were really good at it. So I think the written directions were probably easier on them, I feel like, because they had to learn how to navigate via a map or a compass or whatever.
Yeah. What
about you, Billy?
Kind of going back to the actual maps. I remember vividly my grandpa in Tennessee. He had so many maps, and that's what he would do. He would study his route and he would map it all out before making, a multi-state trip. And when I was in college, MapQuest was all the the rage. And so you would print it out. And there was multiple times that I was be leaving from Mississippi and having to drive up to South Carolina and, going to camp. And so I'd have to map quest, and some of those take you through Atlanta, which is crazy and terrifying. And if you've never drove in Atlanta traffic before, it's terrifying. And then, if you missed a step, and then there was the one time me and Trey were going to camp. Our camp was owned by Clemson University.
Right.
And we were going we had to do a training before camp that wasn't actually at our camp. And we thought it was at the university. So we drove up to Clemson.
Yeah.
And we get to Clemson and, we're like, where's everybody at? And then we realized, they're in a whole different spot in the state, like an hour away. It's not actually at the university. And then we don't have any computers to print out directions at that point to get to them. And so it was horrible. But that's kind of how you had to survive back then. But then when the GPS, we used to have Garmin. It was Garmin when Garmin's came out, and you would just suction cup them to your windshield.
Yep.
And then I paid like $5 to get James Earl Jones, like Darth Vader voice, to tell me directions. Now that was really cool. I do miss that.
That was big.
Darth Vader. Yeah, Darth Vader on my Garmin. But I just recently got an email because I hadn't used it in like 20 years or whatever. And they're like, we're deleting your account because of you've been inactive for so long. I was like, yeah, it's all on my phone now. I don't need Garmin.
No, I don't need you anymore. And why do you think 20 years is too much? Like, come on.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable to come back and start over again. But if we're thinking, could we survive that again today? We could, because you just go back to traditional maps again. I mean, they survived it before. I wouldn't want to.
No.
I mean, not at all, but
no,
I think we could survive it.
I could tell you who would be totally fine without any maps, especially here in the state of Alabama. That is one Mr. James Spann. We mentioned him earlier.
I knew you were going to say him. I knew it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, if there's a tornado, he will tell you every single landmark. Well, there's a big rock that's shaped like a whatever right here. If you're by that rock, you get in your safe place right now. Or if you're over by the Booby Trap double wide strip club, get in. Get in the trailer. Get in your safe spot. Get out of the trailers. Just that kind of stuff.
Wait, but was there actually a place called the Booby Trap?
There was a double wide. There was a double wide strip club called the Booby Trap somewhere.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. I thought you just.
But it's a landmark, and if you know where it is, you know where it's at, and there's a tornado by it. He's gonna.
Now your wife knows where you're at because you got caught in at the booby trap.
Could you just imagine? Oh my gosh.
I just imagine the nastiness of that place. Anyhow. One thing I wanted to go over today real quick. We have a couple rapid fire things, so we're getting close on time here. Just the one thing that stuck out to me, it wasn't so much me as we experienced this, is the overall video game frustration. Like gamers today don't understand there was no autosave, right? There was no internet help. There were no updates of knowing what was going on in the game. If you got stuck in a game, you stayed stuck. Like, you have no idea how to break out of it. Unless you had good old what magazine?
Oh, Power Play. Was it? No, that's the arcade. It was oh my gosh, help me out. It's what was it? Tell me.
Nintendo blank magazine. You just said it.
Power?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I knew it was something like that. I was right there. Yes.
So if somehow you were able to be that rich of a kid and get the Nintendo Power magazine in the mail every month or whatever, they offered you tricks and tips how to get through certain games based on complaints of people calling in or writing in. But that was pretty much about it. As to now, people playing video games, and I don't play a ton of video games. I don't have a lot of time, but I know my son does. His whole era was growing up playing video games, and there's no way he would survive with the no autosave or not be able to like go online. Because what is it now that people are on where they all play games together? Is it Twitch?
Roblox.
Oh, Roblox.
Everything's connected now. You could talk in Roblox or whatever.
Okay. people streaming their games and watching and
Yes.
all the things that go
Yes.
on with that. It never would have happened back in the day. So,
Mm-hmm.
Billy, what do you think? Could we go
Yeah.
back to back in the day where we had to figure out A B, start,
I
finish,
bought
and
one of
forget?
those. I bought one of those for like $50. It was like a NES. It had every NES game. And it had the old school connected controllers, right?
Yeah,
You
of
just plug
course.
it in, and so like playing that and just being like nostalgic and playing the old school NES. Now
Yeah,
I remember Michelle telling me this story that she was playing this Lion King game and absolutely could not beat this one part, could not figure it out, and then her
yeah.
mom had to call Sega and
No
got
way.
high up on the uppers, and they had to walk her through how she needed to beat that level, because they couldn't get
That's
past it or whatever.
crazy.
They had to call multiple people, get transferred and stuff up Sega's hotline, and they got her through, and Michelle was able to beat that level because she got so frustrated and stuff like that.
That's
So, yeah.
crazy that she was able to call Sega and get with like the higher ups. Like,
Yes.
listen,
We
my
need
daughter
help.
cannot get through this board, and
Yes,
I'm
it's
about ready to
giving her
kill her.
mental issues.
Giving me mental issues as their parent, you know.
Yeah, but if you were playing a game and if you wanted to beat that game, you had to devote time to that game, because once you turned it off, it's level 1, baby. Level 1.
Yeah, I think Super Nintendo started to save your spots, like in Mario and stuff like that. That was a big deal with the
It was a
autosave.
huge deal. Yes.
But other than that,
Mhm.
it was one and done. You played, and some reason if it reset, you don't.
Yep.
And autosave wasn't even guaranteed. Sometimes it wouldn't
Yeah.
work. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Dang it, I beat this board."
Yeah.
But video game frustration now compared to what we went through,
Man.
they wouldn't understand, right? People would
No,
think that's
no.
insane today to not be able to know
Mhm.
what's coming out. And oh my gosh, the digital things they have for games, it's just crazy.
Right.
It walks you through everything. So, let's get through some rapid fire things here.
Let's do it, brother.
Back and forth on this. Things like that we did that was normal 80s, 90s that would be insane today if we would still do them. That was one.
Okay.
Recording songs off the radio. That was a huge
Yes.
deal, right? Yes, sir.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you were always like hoping to God your song came on and then playing it and recording it, because you had to make sure you had a couple tapes ready.
Yep.
And then you'd pause it hoping for like the next song so you could get like your own remix of songs together, recording this
Mhm.
off the radio.
And you hope that the DJ wouldn't talk over the dang song.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Mhm.
Like Casey Kasem in Top 40.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Long distance dedications were a big deal. He'd read some long old letters on that one. I always thought about writing a letter in. I'm like, maybe one day I can hear my story on this. Yeah.
Casey Kasem show.
Delusions of grandeur.
That's right.
I don't know if this happens. No, this definitely does not happen. Is passing notes in school, in class.
Ooh.
I mean, we used to risk our biscuit on that one, passing it and being very careful what you put in that letter. If someone got a hold of it, you were dead.
I did find a whole bunch of love letters back from my old little girlfriends in high school.
Hope you
that were
burned them.
saved in. See, I married the most unjealous person. She doesn't get mad about my old girlfriends, thankfully. She'll read them and laugh
about them every episode. Yeah,
yeah. She'll just read them and laugh. And then she also found my "Moshing with Jesus" song that I wrote and makes fun of me to this day.
We got to hear that. The people need that, Billy.
I know it. I've got to find it. I've got to find it again. It's somewhere, and then I'm going to make it, and I'm going to produce it, and we're going to rock out to "Moshing."
All right, deal. Right, moshing for Jesus, right?
Yep.
So now there's, obviously there's no passing of notes. It's all texting in class and stuff like that.
Well, I say that we just passed the law here in Alabama. They can't have their phones in school. They can't have their watches anymore. They have to put them in these little lock bags, and you can't get them back until the end of the school day. They're unlocked.
Oh,
and so you can have them on you, but you have to put them in these little box. It's a state law now, because and so maybe
I heard
the notes
about that. Notes are making a comeback. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe they're making a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
That's right.
So the good old passing notes, burning CDs.
Oh,
We did.
So yes.
Constant, and then you constantly have to go buy new CDs so you could burn them, and then if you burned them and scratched them, then you got to do it again.
I had this annoying. Yeah. Sorry. What were we saying?
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say that your grandpa probably did that after Napster. He probably deleted.
I would burn him. He would download them. I would make the CDs for him. But
Got it.
this
Okay.
one time we were downloading songs, and I had this one aunt. She's not in the family anymore, but she was not my favorite person. But she came in there and she's like, "That's stealing." And my friend Mark was there, and he looked at her right in the eye and goes, "Well, call me a thief." Yep. I'll remember that to the day I die.
Then call me a thief. I just
Call
put some
me a
like
thief.
I don't know, put some hillbilly like
That's
stuff
right.
on it. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Then there is. Do you remember when we had to call a number for time and temperature?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It was the random number you'd call, and it all to tell you it was the
Yep.
time and the temperature. I called
Yep.
that thing all the time.
Yep.
There were movie times listed in the newspaper.
Yep.
It
Or
was
you
like
had to
on
call
mute.
and had to go through the whole list of all the different times. Yep.
Yes. You have
Mhm.
selected Brown-Eyed Girl. That's from Seinfeld. Do you remember that when Kramer took over the voice thing and people would call and he would just try to guess what they wanted to go to? Do you remember this episode?
No, I don't, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, he was doing all these random things and he could
Making
only
people
remember
mad.
you. And it was George calling. He's like,
Oh,
"You
George would be
selected
losing it.
Brown-Eyed Girl." He's like, "No, I didn't. I didn't select Brown-Eyed Girl." He's like, "Push 1 if you want another one. You have selected Brown-Eyed," but yeah, calling the movie phone lines and having to listen for everything through the
Yep.
whole way.
Mhm.
That was fun. Man, this was a fun episode today.
This was.
I love going back and thinking about the old times of the 80s and 90s and just the music, the
Mhm.
freedom, all the stuff that things you
Yeah.
would never allow your kids to do today or would just seem
Oh my gosh,
totally
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Was a fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And if you want to connect and maybe share some of your stories, the things you did or things that you think that are insane that we didn't mention, please reach out to us. Where can they connect with us at, Billy?
Yeah, head over to Facebook and type in All the Everything Podcast. You'll find our page there. Go ahead and hit that follow button, but interact with us. We would love to comment on our post or just
Please.
create a post for us, and we'd love to see it and interact with you. We're also on Instagram. We're on TikTok. And then also you can watch this full episode on the YouTube, and we have our shorts there as well. So yeah.
But with that being said, I appreciate you guys being here today. I'm grateful for everyone who downloads every week. And I just want to say thank you for being here, enjoying yet another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. Hope you guys have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.